All right. Well, I'll maybe count down. All right.
Let's
Um,
do it.
3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to this podcast. Welcome to It's Bigger Than Trading with Teach.Trade. My name is Taylor Hamilton. Most know me as Kia Keeley. I'm the founder and CEO of Teach.Trade. Also want to introduce everybody here on the set. Jamal.
I'm Jamal. You know me as San and Super sometimes. If you're in the Discord, if you're out in the internet world. Um, Short introduction about myself. I'm from PG County, Maryland. You can hear from my accent. I've been trading for, let's say, around a long time, 10 years plus. And, I'm here with the fellas and the ladies to teach you guys or, expound my knowledge about trading.
Aman.
Appreciate you guys. My name's Aman. Based out of New York, and I've been trading for the last 4 years or so. But prior to this, I was just a tech worker. I found myself working at top five tech company, top five bank. Now, just focused on trading, entrepreneurship, and also instructing. So in the Discord, some of you may know me as Teach.Trade, and so you'll find me on Instagram as well as Teach.Trade.
All right, and Jasmine.
Hi, everyone. My name's Jasmine. I am from Texas, from San Antonio specifically. Been trading with these lovely people for about the past 4 years. And prior to trading and transition as well, a little bit about my background. I worked in human resources for a few companies, and then, of course, transitioning into trading and investing and doing some other things. But we'll get into that, and happy to have you guys.
Most definitely. Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you, everybody. A little bit more about myself as well. I'm from New York. I've been investing and trading since 2020 myself. And it's been quite a journey for all of us. So, who we are a collective of traders, investors, and we came into this trading space and this investing space, this whole financial space, not knowing too much about how the where we were going to go from our experience. All of us came here to want to make money, but what really formed towards coming to this place, what formed our team, was related to our theme of how it's bigger than trading. Um, what that means to us, and what we're going to try to explore today is about how our motivations really created new life within our own experiences and how our unique experiences are fostered around our own dreams, goals, aspirations, as well as the relationships that we've built together over time. Um, with a big background between us, most of us we met through online communities. As they mentioned, the Discord. Right now, we're currently in the Teach.Trade Discord. Uh, before that, we started in a place called Todd Capital. It was a Slack group, and it was just thousands of people where we were looking to just learn how to trade from one another. All of us came in, most of us, except for Jamal over here, who's had much more experience than us, at least in the market. But we were trying to learn about how to tackle the options market while we were just in a space where we had more time to try to learn. And through there, what a lot of us left with is new friendships, new relationships, new knowledge, and how that knowledge of investing, trading, and the returns that it was able to bring is what eventually led us to wanting to teach other people how to accomplish the same thing. What we found along the way were different pathways about what trading meant to us, what we were going to do with this knowledge and implement it into our regular everyday lives. And so as we explore this theme and do more today with exploring it's bigger than trading and understanding what this experience can be, we're just going to share our stories, share our experiences, and share our thoughts and ideas as we think about this community that we fostered and that we're trying to build and grow from here.
Mhm.
So with that, I want to pass and start as to talk about some of our experiences and our stories. I definitely want to start with you, Jamal. With as your experience in trading is beyond ours,
Mm.
right? You started before
You don't have
us.
to put it like that, but yeah.
Yeah. You started quite a few years before all of us, you know. So how did you first get in? What was your first interest in trading?
Well, yeah, I mean, like every young person, I wanted to make money. So back when I was younger, way younger, I wanted to make money easily. So that's the key part is make easy money using my brain instead of using my body. So like I seen, countless adults, countless family members go to work and, tire themselves out and not, really be able to, do too
Mhm.
much after they provide for their job, not too much that they can do for themselves. So I was actually at work one day. I used to work for the federal government, and I was at work. I think I was reading a book by like Peter Lynch, and one of my fellow coworkers who was higher above me kind of came and he saw me looking at a stock book, and he kind of put me on to this guy William O'Neill, who I often talk about, who made the Investors Business Daily Journal
Mhm.
newspaper or whatnot. He kind of put me on to him and to that strategy, and I want to say probably like back in 2009 is when I first actually got started in trading, particularly stocks. So that kind of lit a fire in front of me, and reading that, doing that, and kind of reading Rich Dad Poor Dad. I know a lot of people got into like just learning more about investing and the other things in life. Reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, that kind of put me on too.
Mhm.
But I want to say initially, just that coworker kind of led me in the right direction and kind of even led me into options, because like at the time I was doing just stocks, but he was like, options is the way to go for the the quick big money. But I would say that that is the most defining moment of me actually getting into trading. Before that, it was just a lot of internet research, this, doing that, doing this. But really, he kind of put a fire under me when he introduced me to Investors Business Daily way
Mhm.
long ago.
Most definitely, yeah. And so around the time where, as I'm going to ask the question to Jasmine and Jamal next, but all of us, we kind of started around like March, April of 2020. Was there something that reignited? Like we see where you started. Was there something that reignited for you to go even further during that time, and especially where we ended up meeting?
Well, yeah. So I started out in stocks, and so the whole investing thing was kind of new to me. And so I went from stocks, I went into like binary options, and then I went into forex. And forex was kind of scary. It was kind of scary to me
Yeah.
because it's just it's currencies, and
Yeah.
so you have to be aware of like political news and foreign politics and whatnot. And that was just kind of too much and not interesting to me. Whereas with stocks, I can go read a magazine and learn
Yeah.
something about some stocks that I like. I can go look at television and learn about
Yeah.
what's being advertised there, and it gives me a more
Yep.
perspective on what to invest
We
in.
see companies and stocks all around us,
Mhm. I see
Exactly.
that.
from, the computers we use, this monitor right
TV.
here, the shoes we wear.
Exactly.
It's all around. Most people know a lot more about
Mhm.
investing and trading than we do.
Right.
And so, Jasmine, how did you get your start?
Well, my start's a little different. Trading kind of fell in my lap. My homegirl, when the
Yes.
pandemic happened, she was all like, "Hey, have you seen this course with Todd Capital? Da 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 da. What's up? What's up?" I checked it out, and it just seemed really the people. I'm a big people person. Like, I like being around people or being to be able to serve and help people, right? So I seen that space, and it's like, oh, maybe I can fit in here and figure it out. But it just developed into meeting some of the coolest people, and it just put me on a journey that I was ready to have, I guess,
Right.
in a sense. But yeah, I didn't seek out trading. I wasn't searching for it, and my homegirl told me.
Hmm.
My first trade was, I think, a Roku trade, like when
Yep.
Roku was going up when the
Yeah.
pandemic happened. And I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting.
Yeah.
So From there, I just started from scratch because I didn't have any background in trading or investing, like financial, my parents or anything like that. So I'm just, figuring it out, putting one
Yep.
foot in front of the other. And I've, made a lot of mistakes, lost a lot of money,
Yeah.
but we'll talk about it.
Most
But
definitely.
yeah, that's really how I got started. But, and again, as we'll talk about, it's really working with, these individuals in our team and the people that we created in our VCG that really kept me going. And yeah, we're
Right.
here now.
Yeah, and definitely Amon. You
Yeah.
get your start.
So you have a kind of a firsthand experience or insight of this.
Of
Like my
course.
first initiation or exposure to trading was very minimal. Like, I had a Robinhood account like everybody else. You got a deposit and then you might have bought stocks or something. I remember I was really hyped because I had bought Lowe's or something. Lowe's or
Yeah.
Home Depot. And then during COVID or the pandemic hit, spent like $100 and I made $75 on that one stock. And I was like, okay, cool. I made
That's a good return.
$75.
All right.
And then, 2-3 months later, I see, one of my friends, known as Key, also known as Taylor. He wasn't Key at the time because that's all I knew him as.
Yeah.
And so I called Taylor. I said, bro, like, is you for real making this money? Like, did you really make a couple thousand? You take that out? Because I couldn't believe that someone actually took money out because I was always exposed to it, but I never understood finance. I never
Yep.
understood the appeal of owning stocks. And everyone that's ever encouraged me or ever asked about it, they always kind of forbade me. They said, "Oh, it's risky. Don't worry about it. People lose all their money all the time." So I never really saw it as a viable method. Eventually, it came to a point where Taylor said, "Look, join this group, throw your money, and see what's going on." He didn't say that, but that's kind of what I took it as, and I wanted to just test the waters. And so I followed along for the group. I followed a couple call outs. I just got really lucky my first week. I ended up swinging a Zoom over earnings,
Yeah.
and this was during
Wow,
COVID, and so
yeah.
no one expected Zoom
Yeah.
to be super valued. The stock flew up. I spent
Yep.
around like $300-400, and then I came out the next day up $1,200. So
Yep.
from $75 from my stock to like now, I just made $1,200. Essentially, that wasn't a lot of money to me because I was still working my full-time job and stuff. So I was working in the city. I was already making money for myself. But the fact that I just had $12,000 like appear on my lap out of nowhere, I said, damn,
Right.
like that's almost my rent for this month. Like
Yeah.
I don't gotta pay rent. Like I just have
No.
an extra $1,200. So it kind of like shifted
Right.
my whole perspective because it kind of woke me up to a reality where I said, "Oh my God, people right now are making money like this.
Yeah.
Like there's
Right.
so many people making money right now, and I'm not even touching any of it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I gotta wait 2 weeks for this.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was the first instance where I kind of had a kick or like a drive where I'm like, "Yo, you gotta really see what's going on here, because the math." Your math is not math at the moment. So
this
yeah.
math.
This math is
This math.
this math is
Never-
looking good right now. So
Because like I still talk about it to this day. I'll never forget when Amon first joined the group trading. Like Amon was so lit because
Yeah.
because Key was all like, "Hey, my friend is gonna start trading with us," and Amon was all like, "Yo."
yeah, cause I was just yelling because I couldn't believe it. I was like, is y'all seeing this
Yeah,
on my
it's-
screen?
it's-
Like I'm really
It's
making
just
this
the
shit.
time to be alive.
Yeah,
you
Yeah, it was a
know?
good time to be alive, and it was just like so crazy
Yeah.
because I just never like I just felt like I had discovered like a gem. Like people were holding this for me,
Yeah.
and I just
Yeah.
kind of like uncovered Pandora's box, and
Yeah.
I haven't been able to close it.
Yeah. No, that's a
Yeah.
that is a good way to describe it there about Pandora's box.
Pandora's
You know,
box,
I feel like once you're here, this is it. It affects your
Can't unlearn
mindset,
it.
your way of thinking, how you just have a regular day, and you might see a box of cereal, and you're thinking about, okay, how's General Mills
Right.
stock doing right now?
I wonder who owns that company. All the time I'm looking up stuff.
But that's definitely a good transition just to our next part. And we've talked a little bit about this in terms of impact of trading on your personal life, And, you all made like really great points of just like you didn't really expect to be here. It just happened. I feel like our lives were just going on a certain trajectory, and we were doing whatever business that we were working on. I was working in Princeton at my regular 9 to 5 job doing IT work. And that was driving back and forth 2 hours every single day because I needed the experience. It was like my first job out of college. And that was difficult, but I needed to do it because that's what we had to do to survive, or what I felt like I needed for my career to make it to the next point, and doing what was possible to make that happen. And it's just weird how life can just put you in different places where your dreams, aspirations, your values can, fall into place or align, or you just might have something and then eventually come back to it. How I can think about that as well, as most of my life, I was just an artist and illustrator, and that was my passion, especially making art for a purpose, speaking on difficult topics, sharing messages. And through that, it's always aspirational. But at the end of the day, because we live in America, because we live on Earth, how are we going to pay the bills? How are we going to afford things? How are we going to get forward in our career? And so, like, through that job and through that commute, that felt like the journey of just having to establish
Like the
something,
grind.
yeah, really grinding because it was just a necessity. And so it's interesting that I had to, in a way, not necessarily leave art behind, but just maybe take a pause just to focus on a career where I could build something. But so interesting how eventually maybe it came back to that, about how those values were, because once we started trading and the trading fell into our lap because the market crashed, that just opened so many opportunities for new investors to enter. And that was just the flood of all the Robinhood traders, of all, well, there were many
Retail.
discords and everything.
Yeah, the
And
retail.
but it
Retail,
started where we started, in that Slack group. And
Right.
so many communities were built afterwards.
Yeah.
And so with that experience where we were all staying at home, and I was able to just sit back, have so much more time back in my day because I wasn't driving, that's where, from my first trade, and that making $400 my first day, similar to Amon's like 75 and then 1,200, that was like the most money I'd ever seen. And it feels like a scam, right?
It doesn't feel real.
It
Too
doesn't
good
feel
to be
real.
true.
It feels like a
right?
video game. Like
Yeah.
it didn't hit your account. Like,
And oftentimes
Yeah.
when we talk about this topic, or just about us, about trading, it's like you have to communicate it for people to understand and relate to, because oftentimes as well, and some of the purpose of why we are talking about this is because people's first experience with trading is just seeing thousands of dollars,
Right.
right? And screenshots of thousands of dollars from some traders, and that gets them interested, right? But some people's first reaction is like, that's not possible. That's not real. It's a scam. And also it's like, why are you trying to get me into your group? Or, what am I paying for? I've seen what happened in Forex, all the Forex groups, even though Forex is a real thing. But it's kind of like that, where communicating this idea and really understanding like how this is real, like this is our life. This is a very important part of our life and how it's become, you know. And so I definitely wanted to maybe ask Jasmine, like, first, how do you feel that trading has sort of impacted? Now it's been about 4 years.
Yeah, man. So it's a journey, right? And all of
Yeah.
our stories are different. And of course, or I won't say of course, but when you start out trading, you see all the money and stuff like he mentioned, and you're like, oh, I want to do that. Like, I want to make $1 million by the end of the year. Or I want to catch some big trade, 1,000%.
Yeah.
And it looked good, and it was possible, during the pandemic when the pandemic, when we first shut down, because the market was going crashing and then went up. But yeah, I would not have imagined like it brought me here, like to where I am. So I'm not a day trader. I don't have to trade for income, but the environment of trading and becoming an educator and teaching other people and helping them avoid some of those mistakes that we went through and providing a service, right? Because that's the most important part for me, impacted my life tremendously. Being able to help others in their walk. Maybe there's a million, like I'm a good trader, but there are a million more people who are better traders than me, and I would love to help them make money. And I've done it, like he mentioned, we've been in several Discord communities, and I feel like my role in a lot of those communities, like I've helped people make a lot of money. So just helping people to teach that in that journey, and being an educator in the space is great. So when we first started, I wanted to run it up, like give me my $1 million, like I want my, but now no, like I'm gonna get my million, and also defining really what my success looked like and what I wanted my trading or I wanted it to do for me. So mine's not again, I'm not a big day trader. I don't trade for income, but the environment allows me to like fund my, dreams and things I want to do and give me the time to do what's important.
Yeah, definitely. Man, like we heard a little bit about how it's impacted you. How do you feel as though it's maybe changed your self as a person, or even maybe brought out better parts of what you already knew about yourself, or even something you had to discover?
Honestly, to keep it kind of without this dragging on for like 3 hours, I would say honestly it's changed quite literally every part of myself in the sense that it's my internal self, and there's a lot of skills in the world that you'll have to actually adapt specific personality traits, and those personality traits, those attributes are not given to you. They're learned over a series of trials, tribulations, and also just a allotted time period. And so, for example, I like to akin it as someone maybe pursuing sales, right? So, for example, you have to have a really outgoing personality to be a proficient salesman. And a lot of these people don't start out like that. A lot of these people develop themselves and they get really good at their craft. And trading is the same way. Well, you have to develop a personality. You have to develop a level of emotional stability, and you have to develop a high level of decision making under pressure. So what I needed to do was I figured out that to be proficient at some of these things, I needed to adjust some of my lifestyle and adjust some of my decision making and my habits to make it easier for that person to come out, because I believe that that person was already inside of me. It's just I wasn't really necessarily challenged or really didn't feel it necessary to bring out. So a lot of trading has taught me, like, especially discipline, especially like positivity, the power of positivity, the power of discipline, but the power of like failing 10 million times and then getting back up and doing it again. A lot of it. And I'll tell you this, guys, similar to Jasmine, I'm not the most prolific trader. I can just say that I've just survived, I've just made an effort to survive and constantly be exposed to the market. And to do that for a long period of time, it takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of effort and sort of like soul searching into the sense that because sometimes when you're sitting there and you lose a lot of money and you're looking at a screen and it says like, minus X amount of $1,000, you have no other resolve besides feeling like an idiot. So there's some processes that you need to go through to maintain like some sort of like posture and some sort of like place where you can move forward and learn from. So that takes a lot. And of course, 4 or 5 years ago, I definitely wasn't that person. But every day I wake up, I feel motivated. I also wake up early, and I'm really grateful to even be in my position. And then from there, after I express my gratitude, I just try to conquer the day and move really positive and productive.
Man, definitely.